welcome. It is the Nisha Jackson Show. My name is Rusty Humphries. She's Nisha Jackson. Before we get started, would you please subscribe? Hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you get notified. Hit the bell so that you're notified every single time a new Nisha Jackson Show comes out. And share it with a friend because you never know who may be needing this kind of information at any time. So we appreciate you. Nisha, we have just returned from Rythmia in Costa Rica. And we were going to do a whole bunch of other shows when we were there. And yes. You get, I kept wanting to get you to do them, but you weren't in the mood for it. You were, and I understand why. You were focusing on you. You were trying to absorb as much as you could from Rythmia and just didn't have it in you to do a show. Is that fair to say?
Well, that's one interpretation of it.
Okay. What's your interpretation? You didn't want to talk to me?
Yeah, because this was one thing that I really learned at this retreat is that it's okay. And this is true for everyone, but it's really true for me because this has been a problem area for me for many, many years and still is something I have to work on every day. It's okay to receive. Mm-hmm. It's okay to take care of yourself and be in a place of receiving. It's okay to not have to give. Mm-hmm. It's okay to say, no, I don't want to do that because I need to take care of myself today. And I need to take care of my spirit today. I need to take care of myself today. And this was a retreat to take care of yourself, right? This was all about whoever was there was about themselves. And I just realized that, my plan was to do a bunch of shows, but you know what? I was there to take care of me and I really did. And I just didn't feel like giving.
Well, I'm glad.
I felt like giving to myself. And that's a hard thing for people to say sometimes who are natural givers, like they're natural nurturers. They want to take care of people. They want to fix everything. Right. I mean, these are the sickest people out there.
Why do you say that?
They really are because they're so busy taking care of everybody else and everything else that the last person that they feel honorable enough to take care of is themselves. I'll never forget somebody told me in the office one time, she was very overweight. And she went into our medical weight management program at our office. And she started losing weight and feeling really good. And she said to me something it's always stuck with me. She said, I guess we just don't think enough about ourselves to want to take care of ourselves. And isn't that sad? Yeah. Like if you don't have you, what do you have? Right. You have nothing. You have nothing to give anyone. So it's so important just to say, you know what, I need to be in a place of receiving and healing and not in a place of having to take care of everything else. Mm-hmm. And that's what that week was for me.
That's good. So you feel better from that.
Yes, I feel good about even making that decision.
Yeah.
Because the little decisions like that help you honor yourself more. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that was a really good place of honoring myself.
Well, and, for me, I'm kind of glad we didn't do it because I was still, and I still am, trying to download and understand what it is that we experienced and did and what we were learning at the time, because everybody's journey is different. It's not like when you go to, I don't know, some other thing where it's cookie cutter and everybody is the same. Right. This is completely your own journey.
Right.
Is that right?
I call it the ultimate church camp.
Okay.
It's like going and really focusing on healing. But the great thing about this kind of retreat, and there's lots of different retreats people can go to, it's really just it's just a time for you to get space between yourself and your life. And I think that's the biggest problem is we don't ever have any space. We deal with emotions every day. And this was something I learned also. And we were in the same workshops during the day. And what happens is when you experience emotions, so like, your mother-in-law completely, frustrates you, or your sibling said something really rude to you, or you didn't get the raise at work or the promotion or whatever it might be. We're always experiencing emotions. And if we don't work through those emotions, like as they're happening to you or shortly thereafter, they're seated in our tissues. They're seated in our life and then eventually get stored in our subconscious. And the problem is that it's not like we ever forget them. You're just not necessarily thinking about them, but it determines which way your life goes from there. And this kind of retreat allows you to tap those things in your subconscious that have been stored there, that are either making your life go down a path you were not meant to go down, maybe a path of fear, or you're more reactive and angry than you should be. You're going down a path of not taking care of yourself, or honoring yourself, or picking good relationships, people to be around because you don't think you're worthy enough. All of this stuff is because of what you've put in your subconscious. Mm-hmm. It also can make you sick. You know, if you have issues, they're in your tissues. That's what they say. And you can get body pain and excessive cravings and anxiety and depression. There's so much there. And this kind of retreat, and I know we want to talk about what you got, but Rusty, but it's a way to separate yourself from your world and all of your acquaintances. Like, you don't know anyone here unless we knew each other, mm-hmm. but you meet new people and you're away from your normal life, which many times is good. Right. I remember one guy this last time said, I just don't like my friends at home. They're all negative. Like, I just being here and being around people who are filled with love and want to be better people is just making me feel so good. It makes me realize I want to go home and switch up my friends, right, because my friends are really part of my problem.
Or there was another guy who was like, I was going to bring one of my golf buddies. I would have sat around and listened to his stories all the time. I already heard them 10 times before. So at least I get to talk to you guys. And
right.
I thought that was that made a lot of sense to me.
Yes. Yeah. So tell me, Rusty, what you feel you got out of Rythmia. I mean, this was my second time there and I got a lot out of it. I'd like to go every year because it's so good for me to keep going deeper and working on becoming a better person.
You know, for me, it was difficult at first because it's very much outside my comfort zone. Yes. This is not in my wheelhouse at all. Not that that's a good thing, but I decided, okay, actually, what was interesting was when we came into the resort, the first thing a number of women came up and said separately was, submit. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay. I don't have any idea what that means, but okay. And it did make sense. And that was, get yourself out of the process, your ego out of the process, and just listen and follow along and follow the journey that you're learning about. Yeah. And that made a lot of sense to me. And it's what I did. And it worked for me.
Yeah. So I think the submit thing is kind of important because I don't think you can do this if you're just plowing through every single day. I don't think that you can get enough distance between you and your life that, number one, you can see where you're on the wrong path. Like, I don't know, people can really see, oh my gosh, I'm really being overreactive, or, oh, I'm really not taking care of myself. Oh, I'm not really doing the things that honor myself. I'm not sure you can really see that when you're so busy in your regular life. When you go to one of these things, it speaks to you. Yeah. And whatever you resist will persist. And so this idea of submission to the problem, like I have a problem, I don't trust people, is an example. I don't trust people. And, that was something I worked on in this last week is in the ceremonies in the evening, it really became apparent that I don't trust people. And I'm like, okay, I got it. I don't trust people. And, it's hard being self-employed for 30 some years. And it's almost impossible to be successful if you trust everyone, right? You can't. But if that overtakes your decision-making because you're always feeling like you can't trust people, what's really underneath that? And I've always kind of known that, I'm kind of skeptical of things. Like I have to know, I ask a ton of questions. I drive people crazy. I have to know, and I have to know you're okay. And to kind of get into my tribe, like I got to know. But what it really comes down to is you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself to make the right decision. or to make the right move. And that's what I learned this week for me, is that I have to learn to trust myself before I can really learn to trust others. And you'd think, wow, how could Nisha could be dealing with that? Like, that's pretty fundamental. Well, it's not fundamental. It's very deep seated, and it can start at a very early age. Not trusting people. A friend turns on you, a coworker turns on you, somebody steals your ideas. I mean, whatever it might be, it can happen multiple times in your life where you get to the point that you don't trust people, but you really don't trust yourself to make the right decision, because you beat yourself up for decisions you've made. And then you stop trusting yourself, which is a tragic situation, because then you don't really move and act from your heart. Right? You start judging things using your head, and then you don't make the right decisions. And so anyway, that was like super real for me, but I love the word submit, because submitting to the problem and just saying, yeah, I don't trust myself. And it's kind of brutal to stand up in a room of people and say it, because a lot of people share their experiences, but everybody's so loving and so supportive. And it feels so good to acknowledge, hey, this is what I'm learning. And I want to be a better person. This whole world would be better if everybody wanted to be a better person.
Right.
So, and it's just a lifelong process. There's always something.
At this place, there's a lot of prayer and meditation. And they kind of suggest that you try to go in with an intention. What is it that you want to fix or change in yourself? Couple of mine, I'm not going to tell you all of mine, but one, a lot of forgiveness is difficult for me. And then I wanted to remove the blocks. What is blocking me from getting healthy and fit? Obviously, I've been working with you, still having issues. Although she put some pellets in my butt. And what was the biggest problem yesterday?
What?
Not enough fat on my butt.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, your butt could use a little bit more fat. You need a fat transplant.
Yes. If I could get this down here, it'd be good. So here's what I know. All I know is, and there was one thing that they were talking about, because I wasn't really getting things. I had a weird night, and things weren't really coming to me. And then the last day, Dr. Jeff, who was in the last show, he talked about empaths and how empaths go into places and they absorb everybody's energy, and it tends to come from empaths tend to be people who are younger, and when they were younger had some trauma. So then when they were younger, they had to go into rooms and kind of read them. That
could be a sign of an empath. Right. Yeah, a way somebody would become. Some people are just natural empaths. They're highly intuitive, highly sensitive people. And they're sensitive to the people that are around them. If they don't know how to manage it, they're absorbers of the stress and the energy and the thoughts. And a lot of times they're right, because they're very intuitive, and they absorb the negative energy and thoughts of others, and it can be very damaging to them. But yes,
so I don't know if I'm an empath. I'm not going to call myself that, but that did resonate with me. So on the last night, I decided I found a little hammock outside under the stars, and then at the prayer ceremony at the end, all of a sudden, it clicked. I just went, I got it. And you go, what? It's just, the only way I can describe it is just kind of all seemed to come together all at once. And it was forgiveness of a lot of people. And it was this block, and I can't explain the block of why I'm not being healthy.
Right. You don't have to.
But I don't know if you've noticed anything. I've been around you a couple of days. You know, I didn't eat a lot at dinner, didn't need to, been exercising and doing things. So
yeah, I texted you and you were at the gym, and I literally almost wrecked the car. I could, not that I was texting when I was driving.
Right.
I'm sure that's not what was happening.
It was, Michael was driving and you went, whoa. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But seriously, no, that's huge. I mean, just for you to be able to feel like there isn't resistance to wanting to, again, honor yourself and take care of yourself. Yeah. It's so cool to get rid of stuff that's not serving you well. And I think sometimes, I love that about you. I think sometimes we spend so much time shining a light and on all the things that we're not. Like, that's so crazy if you think about it. Like, why would we spend a great deal? I do it too. I'm just speaking to myself right now. Why would we shine a big spotlight consistently on the things that we're not? Why don't we shine a huge light on all the things that we are, that makes us special, that makes us just, that makes other people want to be around us? Like, what is it about us that's so special? Why aren't we spending time honoring that and putting a big, huge light on it instead of continuing all day long highlighting the things that we're not? Oh, I just don't exercise. That's me. I'm just a sugaraholic. Yep, that's me. I just smoke cigarettes. It's just, I love them. It's just, my whole family's done it. That's just me. That's just me. I'm just anxious. That's just me. I'm just depressed. So, but that's really not you. You don't have to put a spotlight on who you're not. You could put a spotlight on who you are. And then eventually what happens is that your whole being moves in that direction, in a direction of health, in a direction of loveliness and healthiness. And I like that we have the ability to do that, but sometimes I just don't think that we realize it. I don't think we realize it, like the submission thing. Yeah. So submit to being a better person.
Well, I thought it was a great adventure, a great resort. If you're looking for a life-changing thing, check out Rythmia. Put the website on there. Make sure you mention Nisha Jackson too if you call them, and that would help her out too as well. But anyway, this show is about life changes, and whether it's about supplements or gas or PRP or spiritual changes, it's all about that. And that's why I like this show so much. Yeah. That's why I love and respect you so much. And I hope you'll subscribe to the Nisha Jackson Show. It's so wide ranging. There's so much here. You don't want to miss any of them. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, share it with a friend. We appreciate you. And until next time, go to nishajackson.com if you would please. And did you have something?
I was going to say, just remember, it's super easy to miss something you're not looking for. So look for something really great for yourself, because you probably will find it.
It's a good way to end the show.
Thank you.
That's good. Catch you next time. I'm Rusty Humphries. She's Nisha Jackson, and this is the Nisha Jackson Show.